What's going on YouTube? JT here, and welcome back to another Monsterverse related video. This just came in the mail today, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about it. This is the Monarch Files, a Monsterverse manual adapted by Greg Keyes. Now, basically what this is it's kind of an in-universe encyclopedia of all the different creatures and characters and events that Monarch themselves have accounted for, and it kind of gives little character profiles and stuff. So I thought it was neat, kind of interesting. You can see right here we got Godzilla and Kong on the cover, and on the back it says, "Attention Monarch agents and researchers. Attached for immediate review are the Monarch Files, a comprehensive, vital, and highly sensitive dossier on notable monsters, titans, and massive unidentified terrestrial organisms, M.U.T.O.s. You will find up-to-date behavioral profiles, physiological analysis, and capability assessments. Also contained within our field reports detailing operatives' encounters with M.U.T.O.s. It is expected that every Monarch employee study these accounts with diligence. Note, high-resolution photographs are included wherever possible, but artist approximations have been substituted in for cases when mission photographers did not return from their field surveys. All information contained herein on employees, technology, and geographical locations is confidential for Monarch employees with B-grade clearance or greater. Do not disseminate." Well, it seems I don't have any clearance, but we're going to share this stuff anyway. So, so this is the thing. I went ahead and I skimmed through it all, and I could see basically kind of what we have in this thing. So you got the cover right there. Now, this is kind of a slip cover. When you take that off, let's go ahead and do that. It looks more like a confidential sort of information right thing, and it's kind of separating these little dividers right here. So this thing is actually pretty cool. So you kind of open it up right there, and you can see the Monarch Files, a Monsterverse manual adapted by Greg Keyes, who worked on a lot of the novelizations. Original mythology Bible writers Barnaby Legg, George II, Josh Parker, and Chris Robinson. So this is done by Legendary. As you can see here, it's broken down into little tabs and sections. We have Monarch's Beginnings, we have Operation Skull Island, G-Day, Rise of the Titans, Hollow Earth Discovery, and the Scar King Rises. So it's kind of broken down in the movies as well as Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Now, this pretty much has the majority of Titans and stuff that we've seen so far, except some of the stuff in the Skull Island anime. Now, there's some creatures that carry over to this thing that you would think that Monarch would have come across, but you got to remember, in that show and in that comic book, Monarch was not there for those events, so hence why those things are not really covered within this thing, such as the Kraken or Yugoth. Just giving you a heads up. I heard there's going to be some other Monsterverse related thing coming out next year, which I pre-ordered off Amazon, but this is just this thing. So you go ahead and you open it up like so, and it has a table of contents. So you got Monarch's Beginnings, there's character profile pages for Lee Shaw, Keiko Randa, the Iron Dragon, Brabivore, Endopede, Frostbark, and the Hollow Earth itself. More notable, excuse me, more so like Axis Mundi, but again, I haven't had the time to go through and read this thing because it just came in the mail today. Then it covers the Skull Island stuff. Then it goes to G-Day. Now, not every human character is going to get a profile, in terms of the Monarch stuff for the 2014 film. You get Serizawa, you get Vivian Graham, you get the M.U.T.O.s, and you get stuff by Bill Randa from Skull Island, Houston Brooks, and James Conrad. That's pretty much it for the Skull Island characters. Shaw and Keiko have some profiles here. And then in terms of King of the Monsters, you have Mark Russell, Emma Russell, the Chen siblings, and then you have the different creatures that appear in that thing too, and also some of the tie-in things. You have Abaddon, Tiamat gets a profile here, Amhuluk, Methuselah, which a lot of people were like, oh, Methuselah, save Methuselah. Well, Methuselah is appearing in a new Monsterverse official thing too. So, but yeah, it kind of looks like that. These are just treated as confidential files, which I'm sharing right here too. So you can see we got the Lee Shaw stuff right here, and I know I got the Lee Shaw spinoff coming up, and again, talks about origins of life, goes through the files right here on Skull Island. You'll get little monster profiles, Kong will get something right here. And they also have kind of little spots too where they save them, where you can skim through here, I'll get to it in a second, where they have little photos kind of shared and little stuff like that too. But yeah, I am looking forward to reading this thing. And again, you'll have things like Psycho Vultures that get their stuff here, which I think at the time Monarch was being made, they didn't get in live action until then, the Scar Buffalo. And then you'll have something like here, like the Owl Turtle, which appears in the Skull Island anime series, but hasn't been given the live action treatment. But because Monarch has spent time on Skull Island, it would make sense why this would be there in their profiles, as opposed to seeing the Kraken, which was, well, killed by Kong in that timeline continuity. So, and of course they do G-Day. Godzilla's got his own profile, and they go over little details about him and such. Again, I haven't gone through and read the whole thing. They got some stuff here on Mothra, and I think I kind of skimmed over this stuff where they talk about how Mothra is kind of there may be different versions of Mothra out there and such. Now they have a profile here on Mark Russell. Now they'll also have status here, like if a character is dead, they'll say deceased. But in the case of, say, Mark Russell, it says inactive. So it seems that after the events of Godzilla vs. Kong, he's kind of done with Monarch stuff for right now. I'm surprised they don't have Madison Russell on here because they have Gia, but, you know, maybe Millie Bob Brown didn't want to be a part of this thing or something like that. I don't exactly know. But she has a working relationship with Legendary, so who knows. But, yeah, so like I said, they go through the different things there. And, you know, go up to the Mass Awakening, King of the Monsters, go over some of the tech and such. And then they go into the Hollow Earth stuff as well. And, you know, Nathan Lind will be there. They don't exactly explain whatever happened to his character post Godzilla vs. Kong. So he could still be out there. It says status inactive. So that doesn't mean he's dead. It just means he's inactive. You know, Eileen Andrews is still active, but she's not going to be in Supernova. And then Gia, it just says not applicable because, well, she's a child. And, you know, it goes over her connection with Kong. And then you get other Titans like Camazotz in here. Doug actually has the name Titanus Doug because he's very popular, which is really cool and such. And then they go into the Rise of the Scar King. And in case you ever wonder what Trapper's name was, it's Dr. Travis Trapper Beasley. So that's cool and such too. So I'm glad Trapper gets his own profile page. But I'm surprised Bernie doesn't. Like, Bernie is in 2 of the movies, and he's like a significant part of a lot of things. But maybe because he's not technically Monarch, that's why they don't have it in there. And that's probably why they don't have Madison either. But they have Gia there, and I guess, you know, she's worked with Monarch and stuff. But yeah, you'll have something on Scar King, and then goes to Suko, and then Shimo, and then, you know, some of the various, you know, tech that they have, and some of the other creatures in Godzilla vs. Kong, like the Parrot Frog, the Verticine, and it kind of goes over classifications, what's a Titan and what's not. And then kind of the last section right here, they cover Titan X, because this is just kind of, Monarch Season 2 just came out, so they go to a little bit of details over her, and then you have the Scarabs and such too, and what they do. So, and that's pretty much where it ends there. Now, in the very back here, you have a confidential thing. This is clearly the Apex Cybernetics logo. So you go ahead, open this thing up very carefully, and inside here, some classified Apex stuff. I wonder what this could be. It's just details on Mechagodzilla and the anti-Titan weapon and stuff too, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I got to go through and read this whole thing and such, but I did think this is pretty cool. Again, it doesn't cover every single character or every single minute detail, but it gives you a broad idea of the overall Monsterverse and all the characters and creatures that kind of exist within it, that Monarch themselves have come into contact with, that we've seen so far in the films. Hence why stuff like U-Goth, which is in the Skull Island anime continuation comic, or the Kraken wouldn't necessarily be there because, well, those people weren't Monarch in that too. So it even acknowledges, like, from what I kind of skimmed too, like when it goes to Tiamat, it acknowledges stuff from the Skull Island, like Kong Survival Instinct game as well too. So it is covering a lot of different facets of it too. So, and it doesn't cover the villains or antagonists like human-wise in this thing. Well, I mean, there's references to them in terms of names, but they don't have their own specific profile pages and all that too. But it's cool. Like I said, it's an in-universe, basically encyclopedia. Monarch operatives are handed this thing, and it's like, go to town. So yeah, I thought this thing was pretty cool. I did enjoy reading about it and seeing all the cool stuff that's within it. I look forward to going through a deep dive and reading every little detail. I like to collect all these different Monsterverse things. I have the different art books anytime they come out with something. So if you're a fan of the universe and kind of want to know a little bit more about maybe some of the lore, you know, based on the movies and shows and some of the creatures and stuff to get a better idea, because not everything is just name dropped in the movie, like that's that, that's that. But if you want to kind of study more about the species and the all that other stuff, then I suppose you want to check this thing out. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly what I spent on it because I pre-ordered it like last year, I think, or whenever this thing became available. But it's cool to go into the different Titan profiles and see all the different creatures and just see how this started out as like the 2014 film and has really just kind of expanded into this thing. And now we got the upcoming, there's some more Monarch comics coming out, I think later, like, is it next month or something? I pre-ordered something. It's like comic book kind of like continuations of Monarch Legacy of Monsters, or telling some of the missing storyline pieces that we never got to see from the first season. So that comes out in a few months, and then we should finally be getting the trailer for Godzilla Kong Supernova by the end of the year. And the Lee Shaw spinoff is getting ready to start filming that too, so we'll learn more details about that as they come about. But anyways, just want to give my quick little impressions on this thing. I think it's really cool, and I look forward to kind of doing a deep dive, reading every page and studying more of these creatures, and, you know, seeing the beautiful artwork and all that other stuff, and all the profiles of that and stuff. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool. So, but anyways, if any of you got this, what do you think of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Subscribe for more Monsterverse stuff. Peace.